DaVita Clinical Research is now looking for participants who have impaired kidney functions. So if you're interested and feel you can help, please call this toll-free number. It's 1-855-327-7883. And as you heard, without people giving their time, there wouldn't be those valuable with us here on Colorado and Company. I'm very happy to welcome Dr. Chris Galloway from DaVita. He's here to help. Nice to see you.
Good morning.
Let's listen really quick more about DaVita.
Attention adults with impaired kidney function. Right now we're enrolling for a research study of an investigational drug for impaired kidney function. There is no charge to participate in our study, and compensation up to $1,400 may be available to those who qualify. This study is for adults with all stages of impaired kidney function, from mild to end-stage renal disease. Call toll-free 1-866-999-6464, 1-866-999-6464.
And here from DaVita is Dr. Chris Galloway, the medical director. Nice to see you.
Good morning.
Please explain a little bit more about the mission of DaVita Clinical Research.
Sure. So at DaVita Clinical Research, we run clinical trials to shape the future of medicine, to advance the practice of medicine and discover life-enhancing therapies.
And talk more about the importance of people participating so you can find the advancements in medicine.
Sure. So participation, or our volunteers, are the backbone of what we do. You know, everybody knows someone who's on a prescription medication, whether it's mom, dad, brother, sister. None of those medications make it to market without clinical trials, and clinical trials do not happen without participation. So our volunteers are pivotal to the success in advancing medicine.
Can people participate even if they're healthy, and what would you define as healthy?
Yeah, absolutely. In clinical research, healthy often refers to not taking any medications that are prescriptions for any kind of chronic medical condition. Often there may be an age bracket, but for the most part, zero medications that are prescribed, no chronic medical conditions such as hypertension, diabetes.
Okay, and earlier in the introduction we mentioned that you're looking for people that have problems with their kidneys. Explain exactly what you're looking for.
Sure. So often we primarily perform early phase clinical trials where they look at basically how your body metabolizes certain drugs. So in kidney impairment, more or less means less than normal kidney function. And when that occurs, that can alter how drugs are metabolized. And so there can be varying degrees of kidney impairment, and actually 1 in 10 U.S. Americans, adults, can have kidney impairment without knowing it because it can be silent.
Really? So they should come and actually get tested to see if they have any impairment?
Absolutely. We also perform free renal testing at our facility, and we're always looking for patients with varying degrees of kidney impairment for our trials.
Okay, this is Dr. Galloway, and if you're interested, you can pick up the phone and give him a call. Here's the toll-free number. It's 1-855-327-7883. If there is someone watching and they feel like they're the perfect candidate to help you in this, talk about what they should do next, and then also what's the prep time? What do they go through for this?
Sure. So certainly the website can describe all the trials we currently have going on. The phone number is usually the first site. They call our recruiters, discuss a general phone screen, kind of see what their basic medical background is or medical history, see what trials are potentially candidates for. And then we set up a screening appointment where physically the patient or the volunteer comes on site. We tell them to bring all their medications, whether prescribed or over the counter in their original bottles. Often a patient may need to be fasting for the blood draw from 6 to 8 hours. We tell them to bring all their medical records to the site because the screening process can take sometimes 3 to 4 hours because we really gather all their medical history, all their medications, EKGs, blood pressures, vital signs, history and physical examinations are performed to make sure they fit that specific criteria for that trial.
And talk about your campus. I know it's located off of St. Anthony's Hospital in Lakewood.
Correct. So we're actually on St. Anthony's Hospital campus in Medical Plaza 1. Our entire clinical research unit occupies the 4th floor. And so we're attached to the hospital, proximity to the hospital, and have access to all the facilities of the hospital.
Doctor, if someone wants to participate, you need them to participate all year long. And some may think, wow, a whole year I'm giving my life to this.
Yeah.
That can be a little scary or intimidating. What do you say about that?
Well, I want to clarify. So often our trials, some of our more complex ones, certainly can last 1 to 2 years for the entirety of the trial. But the patient participation portion can often be as short as 2 weeks or a month. Or some of our trials in our more complicated patients that are on hemodialysis can last sometimes 3 months. So a patient being on one trial for 1 year is kind of a misnomer. It's just the trial lasts that long, but the individual participation is much shorter.
Okay, and go back to if someone wants to participate, they can submit themselves, but then how are they selected?
So we go through the screening process when physically you meet the physician or our nurse practitioners, our nurses, go through the evaluation of the medical history, physical examination, laboratory, basically a large gathering of data. And then every protocol is more or less a very, very complex recipe of inclusion and exclusion criteria. And before a participant can make it onto trial, all those have to be fit. So the screening process, depending on the complexity, some of our subjects may not make it on trial because of their medical history. But once they fit all the criteria, then we set a later date for them to actually check in and reside at our clinical research facility for all the intensive procedures.
This is Dr. Galloway from DaVita Clinical Research, and they're looking for participants to do a trial. If you have an impaired kidney and you'd like to submit and see if you can be part of this trial, then go ahead and call the toll-free number at the bottom of the screen. It's 1-855-327-7883. That's the number to call and see if you can participate. Now, what's the reaction once someone's done something like this? Is it a life changer for them?
It can be. You know, many of our participants are first time. We have some participants that continue to volunteer, and I think gratification is probably the largest word. You know, the altruism of participating in that giving back to the community, they really feel they're part of advancing the practice of medicine, because without their participation, we won't have new medications.
And we're lucky to have you here in Denver. I know it was started, DaVita Clinical Trials, in Minneapolis. Is that correct?
Certainly. So DaVita, our parent company's international headquarters are here. DaVita Clinical Research is headquarters in Minneapolis, been operational for 30 years. And just in the summer of 2012, we opened up this secondary facility on the St. Anthony's campus.
Why do you think Denver was selected? I mean, I love Denver. I've been here for a long time, and it's a great city. But why did they decide to move here for the second one?
Well, there's a multitude of reasons. I mean, Denver as a community is a place where people want to come and live. We had a relationship with St. Anthony's that developed, and they wanted us on their campus. We have a very large facility, and we're really recruiting for a lot. So besides kidney impairment and liver impairment trials, we really need a lot of healthy volunteers for healthy trials. And Denver has a healthy population. And then probably lastly, we're the first in the area to really be doing this, so that's good also.
People in Colorado are committed to their health. I see people out there running when there's a snowstorm. I'm like, wow, they really want to stay healthy. My goodness. Thank you, Dr. Galloway.
Thank you.
Again, DaVita Clinical Research is now looking for participants who have impaired kidney functions. So if you're interested and you feel like you can help, here's the toll-free number to call. It's 1-855-327-7883. And as you heard, without people giving their time, there wouldn't be those valuable advancements in medicine. For simple or complex health issues, for future studies, or any other questions, you can go to their website, which is participatedavita.com. That's participatedavita.com, and DaVita Clinical Research paid for today's appearance.